Are stars forcing trades a problem for the NBA?
Yo, they're a huge problem, fellas, and I'm going to say it three ways. It ruins the integrity of the sport. It ruins the integrity of the business. It ruins the integrity of the contract. I can't come on air each and every day and say I hate NFL contracts because a team can cut a player at any point in time, but a player can't quit. But then get on this same network and talk about how James Harden did a great thing by quitting on his team. In what world do we reward bad behavior and then applaud those who are rewarding bad behavior? In what world? Not in our family lives, not in our social lives, and how in the world are we going to do it in our business lives? How in the world are we going to reward athletes for quitting on themselves, quitting on their teams, quitting on their coaches, and to some degree quitting on the fan bases? I can't do it. I won't do it. I can't win with it. So when it comes down to it, I look at it and I'm like, no, this is ruining the integrity of the sport. It's ruining the integrity of the business. And why in the world are you going to sign a contract that pays you upwards of $42 million annually, then not get what you want and completely quit on your team? It's problematic. If we let it slide this time, it's only going to keep going and getting worse. I do not like it.
Man, that virtue signal is so bright. I wish it was blinding me from the violation, the wardrobe violation we have going on. And I'm not talking about being jacket free. I'm talking about the tie clip not matching the watch by any means. This is a flagrant one on E-Man.
I just he broke
I'm so disappointed.
Slick Rick, you cut the line. Slick, that's the
that ring and that watch and that tie clip are not the same.
Thank you.
Yeah, he broke.
Thank you. Acho. E-Man. Look, no, this is so good for the NBA. This show is proof positive of how good it is for the NBA.
Explain yourself.
Yes.
Simple.
I like.
Giannis Antetokounmpo went the opposite direction. He didn't quit on the Milwaukee Bucks. He pledged allegiance to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Correct.
He decided to re-up with the team in that small market that he hasn't been able to win a championship with. And you know what we did with that? Wake me up when somebody does something else. Somebody asked me the other day to give them a 30-second synopsis of what's happened in the NBA this season. I said nothing. This was prior to the trade. Nothing has happened. Nobody cares. Then this trade goes down, and I happen to be on the show. And what do? Hold on. We got to do 2 more segments. Look, it captures the imagination of everyone, media and fans. And you may not like how it happened, but if the question is it a problem? Certainly not for the NBA. We're now paying attention in a way that we had not previously. How can that be a problem?
Slick, let me get this straight, America. Slick's take was that James Harden makes Slick Rick's job easier. Slick, you got to be better at TV, my dog, because your boy can be entertaining. I can be entertaining analyzing water fall from the sky, Slick. It's not my fault you need a James Harden breaking story to make your job a little bit easier, Slick. You just got to get better at putting them words together, Slickety Rickety. That's all I got to say. Marcellus, and my tie-ball match, Slick.
Oh, man, I don't know where to come in on this. It feels like I'm the referee. Break it up. I'm more with you, Slick, on this one. Look, I don't love it because I was raised different. Like, I honor contracts. Yeah, I'm the fool. My daddy raised me from the principles and the ethics and, do the right thing, son, no matter what your rooting interest may be. But I don't think it's a problem for the NBA as well, like Slick Rick said. It's an interesting play right here that these stars get their way, and through organized chaos, we kind of all benefit. And Acho, not just us as analysts, because our show, Being Real, when Giannis, I don't think we did a segment on it. I just don't remember doing a segment on it. Because we were like, okay, what else? Now, when James Harden left, how about this? When James Harden was thinking of leaving, we were like, we got a segment here, we got to talk about James Harden. And now he lands, boom, and it's captured my imagination, and it's captured our interest. But here's the conversation. Are these good carbs or bad carbs? Let's talk about it. We know that if they're bad carbs, it feels amazing in the moment. and then you feel a little fatigued from it later. Or if they're good carbs, it's going to be long-standing. So is this going to be a great situation for now, and then we're going to look back and say, yuck? Or is it more of like a situation where you see some of these guys who stay still, like a Steph Curry, and things just work out for them for the long haul? Here's the funny thing about all of this. Stars moving around, and, you know, we're going to use LeBron James, obviously, as a line of demarcation and the super team and his decision. Stars moving around is increasing league parity compared to the past, which I think is a little counterintuitive. A lot of people think once you get these dominant stars together, it's a wrap. Well, since LeBron went to the Heat and started the super team thing, 7 different NBA teams have won a title over the last decade. The decade before that, 5. Oh, you see these numbers going down. Decade before that, 4. And the decade before that, 4 as well. It's weird. Like, we thought staying still was going to be the way. But it looks like these guys moving around is increasing parity. Once you increase the parity, you got more fan bases engaged, which is good for the NBA.
I'm not saying that it's going to work. If you look at all of the times in which a player not only left but dictated where he was going to go.
Bingo.
More often than not, it has not worked.
Oh, really?
I'm going to run it down.
Oh, let's talk.
Melo to the Knicks, did not work. Chris Paul to the Clippers, did not work. Dwight Howard to the Lakers, did not work. Chris Paul again to the Rockets, did not work.
Paul George.
Kyrie Irving to the Celtics, did not work.
Same notes.
Russ Westbrook to the Rockets, did not work. Paul George to the Clippers,
Talk about it.
hasn't worked
Talk about
yet.
Jimmy Butler.
The only one time that it's worked
is
Anthony Davis to the Lakers. But that's in terms of winning a championship.
Thank you.
That's not in terms of generating interest and excitement and intrigue. And so, I look, Acho, this is what I appreciate, and I think all 3 of us agree on this. There's a certain part of us that feels that you're just supposed to do the right thing. You do things the right way, and everything is taken care of itself. But this is the entertainment business, and we have a whole generation of fans that have grown up with fantasy sports. And it's no longer an allegiance to your team, and you hope they win, and you sit on your couch and you wear your colors and you follow them. It's a matter of everybody's been enthralled with, I get to pick and choose, I get to trade, I get to see them, like, the transactions is what's the exciting part. And there's some 60 million people in this country who now do that as sports fans. And so this idea of just sitting back and letting somebody else be the GM no longer is captivating enough. It's the possibilities, the moving pieces around and seeing how they work. The hope and the future is what captures the attention of fans now. And that's the reality of where we are. And the NBA taps into that like no other sports organization.
The only minor, not even pushback, I'm just going to give it an aside. The only minor aside I will offer is this. James Harden was already entertaining in Houston. Like, the Rockets were one of the top 6 most entertaining teams in basketball, specifically when they went small ball. Like, they were already entertaining. But beyond that, Slick, I just don't like wasting time. Like, I don't like when somebody calls me, hey, man, can you give me your advice on this matter? We talk for hours on end. We end the conversation. Hey, of course, you made a great point. I'm going to do that. Then you find out the next day they didn't do that. You're like, what you call me for? Like, what I just waste all that time on the phone with you for? So, James Harden, you're going to sign a super max or so deal, $42 million a year with the Rockets. Y'all are going to come to an agreement after all that. And after all that conversation and agreement, you still going to be like, yeah, you know what? I don't really like it here. Let me just get on out of here. I have an issue with that. I have an issue with what that says about the game of basketball and contracts within that.
Man, I am with both of you guys right here. And Acho also, when someone says top 6, they mean number 6. I mean, who is ever top 6 and really number 1? Like, you're top 6, whatever. All right, here's the thing. You got to be careful what you ask for if you're James Harden in this situation. Look, I am rooting for Brooklyn, and I think Brooklyn will come out the East. But I do remember through my single days, Acho, you should heed this word right here. You can't marry the finest person you meet. It just can't.
Why not?
Oh, you'll learn.
You can't just say that and keep moving through the segment.
Well, I don't want to get fired.
That's a long conversation.
You're not just going to offer advice
Trust
on
me, I
television
love me way
to
more than I love you. So you just take that where you want to take it. But that's going to be a bar once you get home. Let's talk about this. Which one is it? I swear I am torn in column A and column B because I'm hearing you, Slick, saying this is great for the intrigue. But I'm also hearing Acho like, is this really? Because the ratings versus the internet response is just completely different, drastically different. Ratings for the 2020 NBA playoffs were down 37%. NBA Finals down approximately 50%. But we all know sports programming is down, but not to that magnitude, which is pretty interesting. But on the contrast, on the flip side, the NBA has 148 million followers across all of its social media platforms. That's more than all the other U.S. leagues combined, and a 43% growth in social media views in the last 3 years. Why do I bring all that up? Because I don't know if you fans are really watching or just interested in an engagement, but something is going on where it seems like the good carbs and the bad carbs are battling, and we're all sitting there just eating it up.